Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for being here. In this video we're again diving into a fascinating verse from the book of Jeremiah 2, verse 6, and taking a look at it through the lens of human biology. It's a different way of looking at things. This verse, I feel, leads on from the last one where we learnt and we were introduced to the thalamus and its rebellious relatives. Let's look at this verse now to see what's going on. Neither said they, "Where is Jehovah, that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that none passed through and where no man dwelt." An interesting verse. Now, if you've ever read this passage, it sounds like a description of a long, dangerous journey through barren places. But what if we look at this symbolically as a map of the brain's early development and structure? We get a different picture. Specifically, the thalamus and its ependymal layer, a specialised epithelium which forms a good deal of the lining of the third ventricle in the brain. By the way, ventricles are fluid-filled cavities inside the brain. Let me show you how I feel this verse works. When the verse says, "Neither said they, where is Jehovah that brought us up out of the land of Egypt?" I see this as the thalamic ependyma developing upwards out of the embryonic tissue, which is called the diencephalon. Jehovah in this particular translation is the hypothalamus, and we've learnt that from earlier verses. Let's look at the part "neither said they." I think this is about non-communication. Because note this, the ependymal cells don't directly connect with the hypothalamus. Their focus is forming the lining of the ventricle. They're not saying or signalling back to the hypothalamus. That brought us up in the verse could be referring to the upward development of this ependymal layer, or even the thalamus itself. In this picture of embryonic development, Egypt could represent the southern embryonic region from which the thalamus and its ependyma arises. And the word Egypt itself in ancient Hebrew can carry a meaning of duality, like two sides or a pair of something. We'll actually see this idea again later on in the book. Biologically, this Egyptian duality is a neat fit with the left and right halves of the diencephalon. Together, they will develop and symmetrically cradle the fluid-filled ventricular space. Next, that led us through the wilderness. In ancient Hebrew, wilderness refers to uncultivated land or semi-arid land. To me, that evokes cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, the watery medium in which this development takes place. It surrounds and supports this upward development. Then comes the detailed journey through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and the shadow of death. It sounds quite treacherous, doesn't it? But if you look at the thalamic ependyma from inside the ventricle, that is endoscopically or under a microscope, guess what? It really does resemble this barren terrain. It's a single cell, unremarkable layer, stark compared to the rich interior tissue of the thalamus. It resembles a desert. It's bathed in cerebrospinal fluid or CSF, yes, but it has no secretory glands or vessels of its own. So in a sense, it's in drought. Pits in the verse match the grooves and the borders, like the little trench dividing the thalamus and the hypothalamus. The surface here has ridges and recesses, almost like rugged ground. Let's continue. The shadow of death could describe the darker recesses of this ventricular space, the infundibular recess reaching down towards the hypothalamus, or more likely the pineal recess at the back of the ventricle, which is associated with the epithalamus. These appear as shadowy hidden depths, seemingly hard to access, almost ominous. Then, a land that none pass through. That's true literally. The ependymal layer is avascular. No blood vessels pass across it. It functions more as a boundary. And finally, where no man dwelt. There are no nerve cell bodies in the ependyma either. It's just a lining. There are no inhabitants. The nerve cells live deeper in the hypothalamus, out of sight. So, when you put all of this together, the imagery in Jeremiah 2:6 suddenly looks like a poetic map of thalamic development and its ependymal layer and structure. The thalamus rises out of the diencephalon, developing in CSF, the wilderness. Dismissing contact with the hypothalamus, its ventricular ependymal surface looks like deserts and rugged land with pits and shadows and no vessels or nerve cell body dwellers. Isn't it extraordinary how ancient words seem to mirror the landscapes inside our own bodies, in this case, the innermost part of the brain? So what do you think? Do you see this connection between scripture and biology here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how this resonates with you. And if you think I'm developing in my embryonic video making skills, I'd love you to drop a like too. Thanks for watching, everyone, and if you'd like more scripture through biology insights, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.